Did you know that overworking has proven to be a major cause of death? It can also significantly increase your chances of anxiety and depression and make a huge impact on your overall productivity. I'm coming at you today from Austin, Texas, where as soon as I finish filming this video, I'm going to unplug for a few days, spend time with friends and family, read a good book, and give myself the rest and play I need because I know firsthand what overworking can do to your physical and mental health. But first, coffee. According to a study done by the WHO, people who work more than 55 hours a week are at an increased risk of heart attack and stroke. As a matter of fact, overworking was the #1 occupational hazard that came out of that study. Let's face it, working long hours takes a toll on your heart and your health, which means overworking isn't just tiring, it's downright dangerous. Have you ever had one of those days where you're glued to your desk, you're skipping meals, you're living off of caffeine just so that you can make that deadline? If you have, I want you to know that you are not alone. Most of us have been there, but let's face it, your body is just not designed to keep up at that level. So it starts sending you warning signs like headaches, fatigue, even chest pains. And ignoring these warning signs can lead to serious health consequences. I know that it is so hard to step away from work when you feel like everything depends on you. Trust me, I have been there, but I'm also here to tell you no job is worth sacrificing your health over. The chronic stress caused by overworking doesn't just make you feel frazzled. It can lead to serious health problems like high blood pressure, weakened immunity, or even anxiety and depression. And the problem is, overworking just amplifies this stress, keeping you in a vicious cycle that's hard to break. For example, according to the National Institute of Health, women who work more than 55 hours a week have a 267% chance of increased depression symptoms and a 284% chance of increased anxiety from those women who are only working your standard 40-hour work week. Think about it this way. Have you ever worked a 12-hour workday only to wake up the next morning feeling like you didn't really get any sleep or rest? That is your body signaling to you that it's time to slow down. I've been in those shoes too, where you're running on adrenaline and feel like you have to keep going just to stay afloat. But here's the thing, the stress doesn't just go away. As a matter of fact, it lingers. And over time, it really starts to take a toll. One thing that helped me out quite a bit was setting very clear boundaries. For example, I don't check emails on weekends. And when I stated this up front, people were furious. But over time, they just accepted it. And now that gives me a little bit of space to clear my head. It's a small thing, but it made a world of difference in my overall physical and mental health. And if that is not an option for you, that's okay. You can still work in small 5 to 10 minute breaks throughout your workday to stretch, walk around the office, or step outside to get a little fresh air. When you work for longer hours, your focus and efficiency really start to drop as well. Tasks take longer, mistakes become more common, and you just can't operate at full capacity. It's like trying to sprint for an entire marathon. You're going to burn out before you reach the finish line. Think about the last time you pulled an all-nighter. Did you really get the work done you thought you would? Or did you have to go back and redo parts of it because your brain just wasn't operating at full capacity the first time around? Hustle culture tells us that if we're not working, we should feel guilty. And you've heard people brag about running their own business means they work 24/7. I get it. I've been there too, and I put in those kinds of hours because I believe that was the only way to succeed. But you know what? I burned out, and it really took me a while to hop back into business in a way that I enjoyed and loved. And once once I discovered that taking short breaks actually made me significantly more productive, it allowed my brain to have more time to rest. I was more creative. My work started improving and my business started growing even faster. So, as much as you think working that 24/7 no life is going to help you grow your business faster, that couldn't be further from the truth. My business didn't start taking off until I took the time for rest. Speaking of rest, it's not just about avoiding burnout. Have you ever noticed that after a period of rest or a vacation, your brain sparks with creativity and you are ready to go? It's because your brain had the rest it needed to regroup, recharge, and be at its absolute best. And play, whether it's hobby, spending time with a loved one, going out for dinner with friends, or simply spending some time in nature is essential for your brain and body as well. It boosts your mood, it boosts creativity. These fun things are just as important as sleep. They release stress, boost your mood, and remind you why you're working so hard in the first place. Now, I get that as an entrepreneur, it can be really hard to prioritize these things. So I have a few tips that have really helped me. One, schedule it in like an appointment. Put dinner with friends on your calendar. Schedule a walk on your lunch break. Make these things non-negotiables, just as important as a client meeting. Set boundaries in your work as well. Schedule a start and stop time for your work day. Have days specifically dedicated for client meetings and days and times specifically dedicated to creativity. I know personally, my brain is way more creative in the morning, so I save client calls for the afternoon and spend the morning creating and brainstorming new ideas and concepts. Another tip is to embrace micro moments of joy. After you realize you just landed another sale, take a second to just walk around your house and appreciate it. Schedule mini walk breaks on your lunch hour. Get outside, enjoy nature. All of these will help you to recharge your brain and give your body a much needed break from stress. And finally, outsource and delegate. This is something that I've started doing in my business. I've outsourced a few things like some of my YouTube video editing. This video is being edited by my fabulous editor, and Lisa, make sure you link your information in the description. Another thing that I have outsourced is my groceries. I use a grocery pickup service. I have the grocery store do the shopping for me, and I simply pick up my groceries. And the biggest thing that has been a help for me is I hired a housekeeper to come in 2 days a week and clean just a few rooms in my house. It has been a weight that is lifted off of my shoulders because I was rolling around in all this guilt that my house wasn't as clean as I wanted it because I didn't have time to do it. And now that's one less thing I have to worry about. I know that this can feel absolutely impossible when you're wearing all the hats of an entrepreneur. Trust me, I've been there. There's that constant pressure preached to you by hustle culture to work 24/7. And the FIRE movement also encourages those 55-hour plus work weeks. But I'm here to tell you that it's just not sustainable. Think of rest and play as part of your business strategy. And I guarantee that doing that will only improve your business. So now I want to know, what is the longest work week you've ever worked? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to know more about my thoughts on hustle culture, be sure to watch this video. And until next time, peace out.